the grim darkness of the far future. There's rogue traders. Ha ha!
Hey there.
Whoa.
Hello.
My camera's glitching out, apparently.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
got a
I
rainbow
might
in
keep
your
it
face.
this way, but gonna try and playing it back in then. Give me a second. It's been giving me trouble lately.
Now, just to get a bit of things fixed, I've received the link in Swedish, so if something weird happens from my part, I don't know.
Wow, isn't that terrific?
Okay.
Alright, camera working now.
Yikes.
I'm no longer rainbow-faced the fantastic.
Aw.
Well, that wasn't that bad. Come on.
Yeah, it could. Yeah, it felt wonderful for the time being, but I thought it would be a little distracting.
Yeah, perhaps a bit Slaneshi.
Harlequin-ish.
Is there any way to change the language on through? I don't think you can. In the, oh wait, translate this page. There we go. Google. Google. All right, there we go.
Google Translator didn't see you. I got it in Swedish.
Yeah.
And I endure it
Well,
in
Google
Swedish.
Chrome. If you're using Chrome, it can automatically translate the page. So.
Ain't that a
Of
blessing?
course, I don't know if the commands in English will work. Oh, what do you know? Commands in English work. All right. There we go. I guess it resolves all our languages separately, and that's why we can each... Something tells me that if you did the commands in Swedish, it would probably follow them as well.
Well,
There, now I posted it in the forum as well.
Okay.
People are, for some reason, waiting there, not inside the campaign.
okay.
Wait, would that give me... I'm trying to figure out some stuff about... Oh, okay, there. I guess. Apparently everyone's named Nick? I don't know. I hit the slash users button and things seem to freak out a little. Really? Hush. I've got a big dog and now she's cranky for some reason.
Yeah, my big dog is not home right now. I only got the small ones.
Yikes! Hats! I love hats.
Oh, come on. Now, hold on. Oh well. Big dogs are good in many ways, but because they don't usually bark often. But when they do bark, it's usually loud as hell.
You notice it when they do.
Of course, you
Make
notice
sure you know.
Yeah.
Hmm?
But at least it's less irritating than when a smaller dog barks.
Yup. My neighbors down here, they're both mute and deaf, and they got, say, 1-2 years ago, they got a small bastard, small pest, basically, who barks and howls every time, and since they are deaf, they don't hear it. But we do.
Mhm.
Bloody bastards.
Although I imagine that having small dog might actually be more irritating if you're deaf, because while you can't hear them, you probably smell it more intensely whenever they piss on the floor.
Perhaps.
You'll begin to notice the other things you don't like about them.
Perhaps.
If trying to use the strategy of lowering my camera and lowering my seat so that you don't just all stare into my house, but that doesn't always work.
No, we
I
can
don't
see
have a
plenty.
tall
We
enough
can see
monitor.
plenty.
Yeah, I was gonna say you guys can see plenty. Whatever. It's not the first time that my kitchen and living room have been on video in YouTube.
Yay!
And officially now that everyone else is late.
Mm.
Yup.
Indeed.
Just a question for time zones. In the post for the session 0, you said that it was 4 p.m. GMT plus 2, right?
Yep.
So, given that here in Italy is GMT plus 1, it should have started 3 p.m. my time, 4 p.m. your time, right?
Should be, yeah.
Okay. So now in Sweden it should be 5 p.m.
No, it's 4 p.m.
Then we are on the same time zone, and that's useful, very useful. My bad then. Sorry.
Could be different usages of daylight savings or something messing up the way the time zones work. I'm not sure.
Yeah, that might be too.
Or, I mean, now it's summer, so now it's GMT plus 2, and when it's not, it's GMT plus 1, I believe. But
Oh, okay. Well, I'm going to Google a thing then.
because I think the Roll20 thing kind of operates so that it shows your time zone and in how many hours it will begin as well. So it's quite clever in that way.
Okay. It's too much. Asking Florence. Yes, it's too much.
Something tells me though that I should probably open the Roll20 app. I don't know though. Okay.
Oh, you can use it in. Jeez. For some reason, I tried this 2 days ago just to kind of get a feel for on air, and for some reason, Roll20 didn't have an app on air, but in normal Hangout.
Hold on. I just opened it, so you can probably go to your sidebar and turn it on now. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the nice thing about Hangouts is that the apps all synchronize after one person opens them.
Yeah. Oh, this saves me so much trouble because I was thinking of projecting.
Oh, screen sharing?
Screen sharing or something because I want people to see like the maps and such. But now this saves me another headache.
Although,
Oh,
Who Are
so
You,
good.
Rogue Trader makes me think of like some shady guy in an alley, like trying to sell me drugs or something. Like, To be fair, I imagine that the Warhammer 40k universe probably has some pretty interesting drugs.
Oh yes,
Very much interesting.
there's so much experiments going on, so much
Yep.
success and so much failure.
And just
Which
on the
really, in
Imperial
name
side of
drugs,
things,
both of those tend to be the same thing.
Oh yes, only on the Imperium side. Then you have the Dark Eldar that goes far beyond the mortal realm.
yep, and the mortal drugs, and they get basically, well, immortal drugs. It's crazy.
Everything's crazy. It's Warhammer 40k.
It's Games Workshop, actually, not just Warhammer 40k. If it was just Warhammer 40k, it would be, well, too easy. As far as I know, there was in the Roll20 settings a way to broadcast.
I don't remember whether there was a... You might have to pay for that.
No, because I remember using it some 3-4 months ago as a test, and I'm a normal, slave level user, but I don't find it in the settings.
Well, I mean, you can use video and voice in it. I'm not sure if you can record.
By the way, as I mentioned, I do have the PDF of Hostile Acquisitions, and if as we progress, someone might want to consider leveling into a slightly more unusual career, then I could probably wind up sending them the PDF.
Oh yeah, I got, I think, all PDFs. It's in the Google Drive that I shared with you all.
Is it on that? Because I only saw
Yeah.
the 2 on that OneDrive that you shared.
I added a couple of more when I realized that there was a lot of neat things that people might want to have. So
Alright,
there's the Coronas, what's it called? Battlefleet, Coronas, Faith and Coin, Hostile Acquisition, yeah, and the Psychic Power one as well.
Now I'm trying to find... Oh wait, I just opened my drive. Okay.
The Navis Primer. Yeah, that's the one.
I forgot that not everything goes to my email. Things with Drive stay in Drive. So, although the nice thing about Google Docs is it keeps track of everything in Google Drive and things not, which is nice. So I've actually used Google Docs a lot in conjunction with Google Drive and things of that nature.
Me too, actually, for...
Wow, the only thing anyone has ever shared with me over Google Drive is what you gave me. Apparently,
Well, there's a start for everything.
Yeah.
although, yeah, at the moment the only 2, those are still the only 2 in the drive that I can get, at least. You might have to...
Let me have a check.
I'm not sure if I'm allowed to upload into your folder if it's shared with me. I'm not sure how the permissions work.
Depends if I gave you permission to do so or not.
I was gonna say a lot of people have permission
Share.
to edit. I don't
Actually,
know.
Yes, I too have just 2 PDFs, the core and into the Storm.
Right. Okay.
I have no idea how anyone could ever need to buy more storage from Google. I mean, seriously, I've been using Google for a long time. I've been doing a lot of Docs, a lot of Drive, and I'm still only using 1% of my storage space.
They are very generous, I must say.
I was gonna say that's probably one of the reasons why they're so popular. Why Google why Google is integrated with everything, because they make enough advertising revenue that they really don't bother trying to charge you for that much.
Yep, when I was working to the Italian translation for Rifts, the role-play game, we had some, hundreds of pages and stuff, tables and so on, so lots of ponderous stuff, and still, the system didn't even flinch.
So now I have added you.
Alright, refresh. I don't know, I'm still only getting the 2 PDFs. I don't think it matters that much. But it would...
Okay. Create a link now.
Yep. Alright, let's see how this works. Huh.
Oh, shiny.
Shiny Microsoft stuff that will probably slow the crap out of my computer, but
But shiny nonetheless.
yes, but still shiny.
Yeah. Let's see if we can avoid machine spirits getting bonkers. That would be pleasant.
Alright, here's Battlefleet Coronis. Oh wow. Alright, the other people just went from late to particularly late. It's not even fashionably late anymore.
Academically late.
Well, on my end, I have to say I'm used to much later late. So,
Yeah. I
You're
once
getting it.
GM'd for this one guy who did not understand that that even though we are online, you're still bound to the rules, to the same rules as at a regular table when it comes to actually being there.
yeah. Being
And
used
I
to...
even said I had no problem if people couldn't make it if they told me that they couldn't make it.
Yeah,
But
fine. I mean, you have ways to warn people now. You have emails, you have stuff. But as long as it is a quarter of an hour, 20 minutes, I'm fine. I'm used to 30, 45 minutes late.
I was gonna say I can deal with lateness if it's less than an hour, but it's still not that fun. I'd rather
Yeah.
just you people show up on time.
Of course, that's obvious, but I think that being Italian taught me a thing, which is let things go. I mean, you won't change folks. That doesn't help or about making me angry, but I've seen worse. I mean, we Italian tend to be very lazy. I don't know if you have ever been here on vacation and stuff.
I was in Rome once.
Okay, but I mean, we are used to lateness in all its possible declinations, from public transports, which arrive 2 hours late, and it gets normal to everything else, even dates and stuff. So, I mean, that's fine. I know that everything else in the bloody world, things are a bit better, and so being late is still a fault.
Yeah. Of course, I know that Latin countries have the tendency to be a little bit loose when it comes to time frames.
Yes.
Especially Spanish-speaking ones.
Well, I've been in Spain, actually, a couple of times. And yes, they are much more relaxed than Anglo-Saxon, quote.
Yeah, I guess it comes from that German side that has the need for organization.
Yes. Or perhaps the Protestant, Calvinist mindset.
Possibly, but the Calvinists didn't even catch that much ground back when they first got started and were kind of popular.
That's true. Yeah.
Calvinism has always been a rather small movement and didn't have too much of an impact on. I wouldn't think it would have that big of an impact on people's mindsets.
If Latin countries tend to be loose, then Italy is worse. Basically, whatever the paradigm of Latin country is, there are good chances that Italy is worse. I have no bloody idea why. Well, I have many, but not bloody definitely.
Well, you've given me a lot of reading material with all these different PDFs, but this will be fun. What I'll probably wind up doing is, well, now I'm going, before I just had a Warhammer 40k folder, now I'm going to have a designated Rogue Trader folder.
You're welcome.
I love having all this stuff. I mean, really, I'm gonna see if I can see how many megabytes just my RPG file is. Or how many gigabytes, or I don't even know. I don't think it adds up to a gigabyte just yet. I mean, that would take a lot of PDFs to get up that much big.
And big ones.
I think I downloaded 5 gigabytes of like pictures for just maps.
Okay, so my RPGs file. Oh wow, all of my RPG files add up to 1.74 gigabytes. Which, when you consider that it's all PDFs, that's a lot.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just going in order for the folders that are actually games, because I've got some for character portraits, some for I do some literary RPGs, I do some freeform RPGs. It depends on like I actually do play by email these days. I did some play by post literary RPGs. That can be fun. If you're going to do email or playing by post, I'd much rather play with I'd much rather just not use a system. It's not worth the trouble.
Yeah, just go narrative.
Yeah. But yeah, I've got Basic Fantasy RPG, D6 Adventure, D6 Fantasy, D6 Space, Dungeons & Dragons, Diesel Mice, Diplomacy. Oh wait, did I download? Yeah, I did download the rules to Diplomacy. Dread, Dungeon World, Eclipse Phase, Empty Roads, Fate, Fiasco, 4-Color, Gunfighter, GURPS in Space, Isophasmic Light, Kobolds Ate My Baby, Lasers and Feelings. No, that was for another campaign. Lore, which Lore is an awesome. I wish I had time to play that. It's free online if you make an account. They basically have this playtest thing where it's like, we're too lazy to hire an editor. You can download the PDF if you're complain in the forums what's wrong with it, and we'll update it. Which, to be fair, is probably a cheaper way to handle things. It takes a little while longer, but it's a lot cheaper. Also, it's kind of great. Also, Lore is the only system that in my opinion, handles are alchemists properly. Instead of like Pathfinder, where alchemists are bomb-chucking Jekylls and Hydes, you've got instead alchemists actually do almost nothing with Jekyll and Hyde and have a couple of bombs, but it's all you learn these useful formulae that give you things you can do.
Well, as far as I've seen for Pathfinder, even though I haven't played it.
Sorry.
Okay, I thought it was my PC Prime because it has undergone a lot of frying in these periods. But for the Pathfinder Alchemist, I don't get it in that because I mean it's a pyromaniac basically, so it's a bomber, not an alchemist.
Yeah, it's a bit like a spellcaster, but kind of pretend that he doesn't have spells.
Yes, and given that alchemy as of itself is huge, it's basically chemistry. I mean, chemistry is enormous. In my opinion, as much as I've seen by playing, I usually tend to be a very crafty player. So when I can craft something, when my character has the chance of crafting something, he does. It isn't a coincidence that almost my most important characters on every settings were blacksmith and craftsmen. And even when I play, say, mages, wizards, scholars, and stuff, I usually have them have their own ink, papers, homemade. And that, of course, entails lots of chemistry and alchemy and stuff. So why is there really a need for a dedicated class?
It depends on the game.
Yeah, that's true.
And really what you want to do. I mean, if you want to be... Here's the thing about alchemists in Here's the thing about most games, though. Most of them don't give you enough things to do with alchemy. I mean, you've got like a list of like 4 or 5 different formulae you can make in the equipment list, and then you can almost never find anything else. Meanwhile, let me just... In the game lore, alchemists are the only people who can make these alchemical formulae, and let me just show you the... Also, one of the nice things about this is it actually has main classes followed by subclasses, and that's really just for organization purposes. In fact, the subclasses and the main classes have no connection except flavor. Like, there are 3 kinds of fighters, there are 3 kinds of protectors, there are 2 kinds of rangers, there are 3 kinds of rogues, and then, yeah, you actually get a lot of there's a lot of different classes, which I like games with lots of classes. It gives you more variety. Anyway, let me just pull up the list of alchemist concoctions. You know, I'm just going to screen share this. These are all of the different formulae you can make as an alchemist in this game. Just this, which I really like. I do like having the fact that it really makes you one of the most useful classes, because you can use the and the thing is, you start off with very few. You start off knowing 1 formula, or no, you start knowing 2 formulae, I think. Then you will learn a 3rd at next level, or then you learn, like, you slowly learn these things, but I can find a useful situation for all of them. Binding is probably my personal favorite. It is crazy glue. Which I absolutely love, because I would find so many uses for that.
Is there a solvent for it?
Also, I would probably wind up working very closely with the rogue to play tricks on people using binding.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are several different kinds of things that can be used as bombs, and all of them have different uses. I mean, you've got everything from thermite, liquid fire, Molotov cocktail, flashbang, firecracker, grenade. There are a few more. And they all function as some kind of explosive bomb, but they all have slightly different uses outside of being explosives. Like thermite is actually less; it's more of a charge explosive if you want to use it for that, or you can use it to heat rocks and cook off of them. So you've got a lot of things that are useful beyond combat, which is also really nice.
Exactly.
Also, I like the way they handled the healing in this. There are 3 different kinds of healing droughts: healing drought 1, healing drought 2, healing drought 3, and depending on really, you can get any of them at any time. The only thing is, it is a more expensive to make the higher level droughts. I don't even know how the hell you pronounce that. Whatever. But
You
it's more
don't,
expensive.
then we don't.
Yeah, it's more expensive to create higher level ones, but so it's a question of, do you want a little thing that will heal you for a little, but it's cheaper, or do you want something that will heal you for a lot, but it's more expensive? Because I believe it costs more to make multiple doses of Healing Drought 1 than it does to make one drought of Healing Drought 3, but it also costs more to make one Healing Drought 3 than one Healing Drought 1, and things of that nature. So it creates a very interesting system where it's like, which do I do? Which is one of the things I like about this, the way they handled alchemists in this particular game. It's just so a lot of you're really useful, but it depends a lot on how you run what you're doing. You could be
Yeah.
You can be anything from a snake oil salesman using fool's gold to paint regular objects to make them look like gold for a period of 24 hours, or you can like that, which really that can be handy. But the fact that you can sell any given concoction for 3 times the value it took to make it, I'm not too sure I would ever go that path. I guess that just depends on where my character came from and what I was trying to do with that. But meanwhile, Truth Serum could always be useful. Swellow is one of my personal favorites of these different concoctions. First of all, the name Swellow. It's pretty obvious what it does. It's Jello that expands, and it is really useful if you run through a door and you're being chased by someone. Just stick that at the door and basically make it so that it's almost impossible for them to get through. Of course, you could also pour binding out on the floor and make it so that as soon as they step on it, it's going to be a pain to get their foot off the ground. So there's lots of... It's just a really useful class, which I like so much better than anything else I've seen using alchemists.
Well, I think we might as well start.
I was going to say, we might as well start making characters.
Because
Yeah.
they got
Yeah.
almost a half an hour now to get on.
Yeah.
Don't think the others will appear out of the warp.
No.
And if they do, well, then they can.
Yeah, then they can just jump
Well,
on.
Also, I'm
Finish them.
echoing on someone else's. I hear someone else's.
Me too.
Echo. It's
I
not mine
had-
because I'm using a headset.
Me too. Now.
Oh, we're all
Before
using
not.
headsets. How the
Yes.
hell is it echoing?
Perhaps is. Just wait a second. It's better?
I
have
don't
no
hear myself
echo.
echoing anymore. Okay, I don't hear the echo anymore, so we'll assume the problem's solved until proven otherwise.
Right.
Okay.
So I was thinking of being a Seneschal first mate in terms of what I was doing. Of course, trying to remember. I'm looking through hostile acquisitions. Yeah, I don't think you can be the spy or house operative at rank 1, or I think you have to be at least like rank 2 or something to do it. I think it's let me see. Oh no, you have to be rank 4. Okay, so I'll start off as a seneschal, I think. I kind of want to be. The question is, are we going to go for and it's really hard to ask questions like this with fewer people here, but we'll just get a consensus among the two of us.
Right.
First of all, how shady will we be? Will we actually be doing our job of claiming systems for the Imperium, or will we be basically using all of our powers to make as much money as possible and screw legitimacy? If we can get away with it, we'll do it.
Well, let me see. One of you wanted to be rogue trader, correct? So that's a good way. That's a good end to start, I'd say.
True. Yeah. Start off with what kind of rogue trader we have, and then figure out what kind of person everyone else would be.
Indeed.
Well, since that, I think one of the group is much probably going to be the rogue trader. I think that we can just ask him when he is, of course.
Didn't you want to be rogue trader?
No, I was the one who said that if nobody wants, then I'm okay. But in the forums, I've seen, or it was in the chat, I don't remember, but I've seen someone volunteering.
Yes, someone was volunteering.
Yeah, you Peter also volunteered. You wouldn't mind, it says.
Yeah, I said I wouldn't mind.
Yeah.
I can survive being the leader. Let me just see the starting skills and figuring out what.
As a seneschal,
seeing the summation of what the rogue trader is good at. Or common craftsmanship plasma. Now, how often? Because I saw that under craftsmanship, everything was just GM, like GM option. There's no real actual rules based on craftsmanship. It looked like. So,
what do you mean with craftsmanship? Do you mean creating?
Like best craftsmanship? No, as in how quality. Like under starting gear for the rogue trader, you've got best craftsmanship las pistol, or good craftsmanship hand cannon, or common craftsmanship plasma pistol.
Right.
Like, but from what I was just wondering, since everything under the craftsmanship rules that I saw was basically the GM might decide that your equipment goes wrong at a given time. What does?
I have not.
How often is craftsmanship going to be? Because if craftsmanship isn't going to be a big deal, then I'm going to look at. You know what? I'm just going to look at it with flavor, and if it's poor craftsmanship, screw it. I'll live with that.
Yeah, I mean, regarding craftsmanship, if it's common, there's nothing special to it. If it's good craftsmanship, it depends if it's a melee or a ranged weapon, or if we're talking armor or something. I mean, you have bonuses if it's better craftsmanship. For example, a best craftsmanship weapon can never jam.
Which is useful.
So that is useful. But a melee weapon that is best craftsmanship gives you +10 to attack with it.
Oh wow. Okay. So thanks for making that a little bit more clear.
Yeah. But
I could go with the rogue trader since I was thinking of being a talker anyway, and really, a rogue trader. What I liked about the seneschal is they were the talker and they were the lore keeper, and really, a rogue trader can do that just as well. In fact, there are very few things a rogue trader can't do. They're kind of good at it. They're kind of Mary Sue's when it comes to options.
Yeah, if you saw my forum post, you can play the role of the rogue trader while still having another career.
Yeah.
if you want to, and if it kind of makes sense. I mean, in general, as a rogue trader, you are the leader. So if you have fellowship of 5, maybe you're not a suitable leader.
Yeah, maybe that's not the best idea.
Yeah.
But I think I'll I'm just gonna look at the different starting equipment because I kind of liked the. Then again, does it really? I was always unsure. You can basically purchase almost any weapon you'd want, couldn't you, given the way profit factor works? I mean, it seems like that would cost very little.
You have the funds to buy anything.
I was gonna say, so...
But you have to roll a acquisition roll, and depending on the rarity of the item, you may or may not succeed in the position where you are. If you're on a space station or if you are in a small town, that may change.
All right,
and
that makes sense.
So that's aimed to give you basically a good starting gear, and then not to let you die on your first mission, and then, well, your privileges are over. You have to earn everything.
Yeah, I
Kind
mean,
of.
you get a good starting equipment. Depending on what you play, you get better and worse. I'm sure. And also you get to roll 1 acquisition roll to get something, and then every time you go to a space station or a suitable place of trade, you may make an acquisition roll to acquire something.
Okay. You know, I would
Okay.
actually like being the rogue trader because I feel like in this particular, I do like creating characters who aren't like great in combat, and but then again, I like the versatility of the rogue trader, so I think I could do both career and the role. I feel like that would make sense, and it would get everything done pretty quickly. So, let's go through teaching me how the heck the character creation works.
Right. So the first thing we do is to roll the characteristics, weapon skill, ballistic skill, and so forth.
Is that 2d10 plus the base? Whatever the base is?
Yeah, it is 2d10 plus the base,
which
is 25.
Yeah, so that's...
So you
Okay.
roll
So I'll roll that in Roll20 right now.
9 times, and then you put them in the same order as your stats come up, and then I will allow you to re-roll or switch. Oh, we got someone.
Yes, someone else is here. Well, I'm not going back on my decision, so we'll live with whatever consequences come if I become the rogue trader.
Mutiny is an option.
Yeah, fair enough. Although, if we're having a mutiny before we've even started the game, there's a problem. We might have to reconsider things. Okay, very average stats thus far. Well, 1 below average, 1 completely average. So far, everything is average, which scares me, actually.
Hello. Sorry I'm late.
Quite fine, actually.
We've had some nice banter going.
Yeah.
Welcome.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've got 4
Thank you.
more to make. Is there a way to repeat this? I forget if there's a way to repeat your previous command easily.
Up arrow, I think.
Let's try it. Yep. Okay, thank you. So 1, 2, 3, 4.
there we go.
Oh wow, I rolled 2 10s.
Nice.
Which means I'll probably be swapping that into Fellowship if that's not what roll comes up for Fellowship. I don't remember the order of the...
I'm actually adding on your character sheet now because I'm such a
Oh.
nice guy.
Thank you, that's wonderful.
We have a nice master.
Yeah.
Ah.
Who would have thought of that?
Oh wait, oh, okay.
So So if you go into the journal tab,
Yeah, I can see it.
you
I
will,
just
you will
opened
find your own character sheet there.
Yep.
As well as Bob McTest
Yep.
Perfect.
Which, if you looked, I actually wound up doodling on Bob McTest in the opening
Yeah,
thing when I was
I-
checking everything out. Yeah, that was me. I will confess.
Okay.
To be fair, I was just experimenting with laser effects, and it looked pretty good using the. All things considered, considering what we're working with.
Yeah.
Well,
Right.
that looks like James Rayner from StarCraft.
All right. So you said you'd let us swap one.
You can either swap or re-roll 2 stats. So you can either swap your intelligence with your fellowship if you wish that, or you can re-roll a second one, or yeah. So you have 2.
Okay. So I'm
two
going to
options.
swap intelligence and fellowships. So I'm going to put the 45 in fellowship, the 34 in intelligence. Okay. I've got a lot of 34s. To be fair, to have a bunch of average / kind of low rolls and then having like one high thing is it's better luck than I usually have when rolling dice for characteristics in any game. Actually, I'm gonna.
Well, that's always good. I mean, they could be all low, which would make it interesting, spectacular character.
It's more of a challenge.
Oh wow.
True.
Okay. So
Federico, you could start rolling your
Okay.
statistics.
2d10 plus 25. It's 9 times, right?
Yes.
Perfect.
I'm just gonna go to a Warhammer 40k name generator. I don't feel like being.
Now, where's the fun in that?
I did as
Yeah.
well. I mean, I got a ton of NPCs to take care of, so I feel excused.
Although apparently these are for Space Marines. Let's see what the other. Trying to figure out. Okay, fantasy names.
Well, actually, you might as well take the name generator corresponding to the culture you want your character to come
I
from.
was gonna say. I think.
Yeah. You
Yeah.
could choose your home world and such before.
Yeah, that's probably a good
Say,
idea.
if you want your folk to be more
I imagine that
higher-
if the rogue trader is dynastic, the odds of my being Voidborn would be rather high. Since something tells me that if you've got crew of 60-something thousand or whatever, you're probably going to have families on board.
Yeah.
Because
Oh,
I've never heard of anyone going home in Rogue Trader.
it
And
all
yet it is
depends.
dynastic. So
It all depends on how you gained your warrant of trade. You could be the first in your dynasty, for example.
True. Which probably means that rolling for the ship quality would probably be a good idea to give me an idea of how long my family has been doing this, or whether I'm the first, since kind of rolling for your ship values and your profit factors / the quality of your ship is... I forgot where that was. But
Well,
that seemed
for
like it
example,
would be a good way to just... starships. What do you think? Should we just roll for the initial starting of the starship? That way we get an idea of my context in my family line, since that is partially dictated by that.
Seems logical.
Yeah, okay. So let me just find the chart. All my PDFs are lagging because I've got multiple... Actually, I can get rid of hostile acquisitions now that I've decided I'm using a different class. I'll open it again if I want to buy some weird equipment.
So, Ian, you start your rolling on the basic skills. most characteristics.
Well, my man is basically a tough sniper.
Ooh, those are handy.
Yeah. Well, considering that I imagined it to be him to be some kind of ecclesiarchy folk, almost a missionary, that might also work.
Oh yeah, having a missionary on board can be handy. It can also be a pain. It depends on how good your missionary is at turning the other cheek, which is part of being a missionary.
Yep.
At just looking away, being like, okay, tolerate it in the name of conversion later.
Yeah. It's basically how much intense is the zealot factor. How much fanatic you are, and I love playing fanatics.
Uh-oh. Now, okay, generating. Sorry, it's taking me forever to find the Starship table.
So,
where is that?
Instead of a door-to-door Jehovah's Witness, you'd be a planet-hopping Jehovah's Witness.
Yeah, well, yeah, we're gonna be a bunch of planet-hopping Jehovah's Witnesses, exactly.
Knock, knock. Who's there?
The Imperium.
We come.
No
one
we could
expects
be-
my
we could be-
position.
We could be Jehovah's Witnesses for the Chaos Gods, and that would be awkward. It
Yeah.
could always be worse. Okay,
you
I
like to
cannot
hear
find the
about the
table for
Emperor?
generating your profit factor and your ship points. I cannot find that page number. Ship points here. Page 34? Is that where it is? Okay, wait. Nope. The hell? Ugh. I'm bad at this. Whatever. We'll figure it out. Is it here?
Constructing a starship.
Here it is. Page 272. I think. Nope, never mind. Wrong page. Nope, that's not the right one. Trying to find the table and... Oh, here it is. Okay. That's on page 33. That's the thing. If you're reading it sequentially, then it's really handy. But if you're trying to find it and you haven't read through the book since last week, then it's a little bit more difficult.
Yeah.
Okay. Roll. So I have to roll a d10.
That's why I had my Forgotten Realms manual printed. It was some 20 euros worth of printed paper, but it paid out.
4 is perfectly average. Wait. Okay, so the dynasty is fresh. So the dynasty is young, but I'm not the first, probably.
It could be.
I could be. I forgot. How does one... I'm trying to remember because I've read through so much flavor over the past week getting ready for this. How does... What are the... Okay, in the most direct way possible, how are you given a warrant of trade? Who gives it to you, and how would you wind up in that situation, typically?
Well, there are multiple ways. Usually the military way is the way to go, either serving through the guards or the navy.
Somebody tells me I wouldn't have survived if I were in the guards. Continue. There's no way I've lived long enough to get a warrant if I'm in the guards.
Well, consider one thing. Kasrkin and Tempestus Scion exist. So someone, somewhere, sooner or later will survive something. That he keeps doing, that's another tale.
Well, in general,
Yeah.
you can gain the warrant of trade by being extraordinary in some way. Someone recommended you and had the resources and the contacts to actually get it through. And
So it could also be a shady deal that improved my position. If,
Yes.
if I knew the right person, worked with the right person.
It can also be your enemies that wants you out out of the Imperium. They basically give you their recommendations, and it looks like, well, you seem to be a great rogue trader. You will do a great job out there in the far end of the Imperium, away from all of this that we're dealing with. And
now, please get the hell out of our ways. Thank
Although
you.
something tells me with a weapon skill of 32, ballistic skill of 35, and a fellowship of 45, it's more likely I talked my way into being a rogue trader. Just going based on starting values.
Perhaps, and that's fun. Once I read that the warrant of trade is especially used as weapon in the Inquisition's ranks. So perhaps you were tied to some Inquisitor, or you were an Inquisitor, a young Inquisitor, or you were part of someone's retinue, and then your boss got in troubles, and basically you got fired. That way. That might work.
There's a multitude of ways.
Yeah,
Another
that was
thing
what
to
I mean. That was one of the reasons I
consider
didn't
is that
want I didn't. Well,
another thing to consider is that perhaps an entire dynasty of rogue traders got wiped out, and maybe you're just the next option. If that makes sense, I don't know.
I was thinking maybe. Here's what I was thinking. Maybe I was part of a noble family that like controlled a lot of stuff, and I was the guy who didn't. I was that one guy who really didn't want to go to. Really didn't want to go to military school, and I wound up talking my way into this situation.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. So that would make me one of. I mean, now time to actually go to what my home world is.
I'll be right back in a moment, getting something to drink.
Ian, you can start roll your characteristics.
Clockwise. All right. So let's see. That would be noble born.
There are more options into the Stormbook if you want to.
Well, I'll check that out when I'm. Crud. Birthright. Crud. You see, the one problem is one page is landscape, which is a pain when you're reading off a PDF. So view, rotate counterclockwise. Alright. So let me get out of here. Come on. Which also means that if I'm dynastic, then I'd have had to have found. I'd have to find my own crew, or to have like. That means I didn't inherit my crew, which means I probably had some choice in the matter when it came to that.
Well, once you get the warrant of trade, the Imperium is giving you a ship with crew.
Okay, does it give you the ship with? Yeah, but I'm just wondering, like, I'm talking about more higher officers and such of that.
Oh, right. Well, I mean, they give you the things you need, but if it's a competent crew or not.
Which I could see myself spending more ship points to get myself a slightly better crew. Because having a higher level crew can certainly be handy.
Yeah.
I don't want to be a stereotypical supervillain where I'm the smart one and all my cronies are idiots. Okay.
And even with stereotyped supervillains, I hope you don't commit mistakes like letting the good guy live until the last moment.
Yep. Oh no. If any fellowship-based bad guy would definitely be using more. If anything, the quote unquote hero would have no idea who he was.
That's true. Well, this is.
Huh. I don't think I want to be vaunted as. Just because I feel like my character wouldn't have that much vice in his life, not enough to justify, like, vaunted. I think savant might be better. If I Yeah, I think I'll give him the I think I'll make him a noble. I think I'll make him a noble from a with a savant background. Thus far.
Savants, I love it. Excuse me, Mr. Ant. Is my mouse you're treading onto? Please get off. In this period of the year, here is that much wet, and you have bugs all over.
Noble-born characteristics, -5 willpower, +5 fellowship. Well, that makes things that makes me even more. That actually, wow, that lowers my worst stat and increases my best. But I'll live with it. I chose it for story reasons. I'm going to stick with it for story reasons. Not to mention, 50 fellowship comes in a hell of a lot of handy.
And you don't need to be stalwart against the warp. If I am, you are. Basically,
if I've got people who can help out, I should be fine.
Yeah. Well, how much willpower do I have? Not that much. 36.
Well, depending on your, it could be easy to buy it up, depending on your career.
Yeah, there will be a bit more bonus than just for the starting world as well.
Yeah, right.
But yeah.
Could it be possible to swap the 41?
Do I put literacy under under advanced skills on this, or I'm trying to remember. I read a lot of rules in a short period of time, so now I'm trying to remember them all.
Making the most.
So, as untrained. Oh, as untrained basic. Okay, now I see. How do I get? Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Wait, is that 1, 2? Is that 3 or 1, 2, 3? Okay. Alright. So that's literacy, speak language. Oh, and I already have the other speak language under advanced for some reason. You know what, I'm just gonna name the skill High Gothic. You know what it means.
Yeah.
Yup. You do.
Alright, that is... When would we have a roll for language? Just wondering.
Oh, well, if you want to, I guess, decipher something.
Oh, okay, so that's more
perhaps
for... Alright,
Or if
so
I think
heavy accent or something like that, maybe.
Yeah, I think that just for talking isn't needed.
No.
yeah, I was just wondering what you would... Yeah, I figured... I don't think you have to... I figured you didn't have to make dice rolls to speak, but I was making sure that everything worked properly. So Homeworld, I put Noble Birth under that, right?
Well, perhaps I could put together some sentences in Latin. I've studied it for some 5 years at classical high school, and once it happened to me that German tourist came and asked for the train station in Latin.
Oh.
And it took me some 20, 30 seconds to realize, hey, there was someone dressed as a German tourist speaking me in Latin, and the worst thing was I knew how to answer. I answered and he went in the right direction, which is kind of crazy. And that's to Games Workshop's merit. The high Gothic names and stuff I've been finding during the last 10 years of GW's presentations, they're quite accurate at that. They aren't stereotypical too much, except for the Ferrus Igni in the Salamanders trilogy by Nick Kime, which, well, was a bit over the top, but it's a case.
Alright, so...
Okay, so Ian, I added your stats to your character sheet. You can find in the journal. You can choose to re-roll 2 or swap if you wish.
Mm-hmm. Can I swap willpower with fellowship?
Oh yeah. You can make 2 swaps if you want to.
Okay, let's see if there's sense for another. Well, a fanatic shouldn't be that smart. I mean, if he's not bad, but you don't need to be intelligent.
I am tempted to make my give my character the lore of the Void Force. My destiny, fated for greatness. You gain +1 fate point, but you also suffer 1d10 +1 insanity points. That actually sounds like it could be fun. Being a little nuts.
Oh yeah. You'll get there eventually anyways.
I was gonna say, you get there eventually anyway, so... Yeah, I mean, I think I'll make him kind of nuts. At first I thought Xenophile would be cool, and then I realized another -5 penalty to willpower would not be pleasant.
So basically, when you were to find some shady guy with an 8-pointed star on a bracelet who said, "Well, I know of a certain, entity over in the warp," and the same instant you were about to scream, "Blood for the Blood God!" Willpower roll saved, failed brutally. So then, I'm going to swap fellowship. Can I edit it myself, or?
Yeah, you can.
Okay, perfect. So it's 36 fellowship. Well, wait. Being a fanatic doesn't mean I'm going to preach as an archbishop. It's not the same thing. Let's see. Also, I don't need to be a very intelligent person. I can still be a dumbass, which is cool. Do I have a 38? No, lots of 37s. So I think I will swap perception with willpower. It's a difference of just 1 point.
Roll.
No, I've had lots of luck this time, so I'm a very poor roller.
Have more luck.
Yeah, that's precisely the thing. If some of you someone of you plays Warhammer 40k tabletop, you should understand when I say that I never fail a morale check. Yeah, just ones and twos.
Which is good.
Which is good, but horrible for everything else, basically, because I've managed to fail a armor save for Wolfguard Terminators with Storm Shields. All of them got wiped out in a single attack. Because of 8 ones and twos.
Oh lordy.
Yeah.
I know how that feels.
And that's why I was tempted about playing only Thunderwolf Cavalry and Iron Priests, because they are utterly indestructible, basically. But then there's no fun. So go jetpacks. I have another swap. That 45 toughness is really cool. I love leather hard folks. That's because I'm very thin, as you can see. So okay, I'm fine.
Okay. I have my stats rolled up. I used a dice roller program. And
yeah, I've seen you posted there in the chat.
Oh, cool. I have nothing below a 31, and I have nothing above a 41. I'm just wondering, are those good stats?
Well, the average is, what is it, 35?
Yeah, 35 is the average.
Yeah.
Okay. So I have a good few below average, but I'm also more above average. Okay, I'm thinking of switching the stat I have with my intelligence and my ballistic skill, because my ballistic skill is at a 41, but my intelligence is at a 31. Which, if I'm going to be a explorador, which is effectively a tech priest wandering about the void, I think a good intelligence might be better.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm really happy. I took pride as my motivation for, and so I get an heirloom for that, and I was rolling for the heirloom item, and I got an Archaeotech las pistol.
Wow.
That is fun. Although I would have liked to get an Angivan era chainsword too. That would have been really fun too. But oh well. I had a 40% chance of getting something awesome. And I can always try and buy a chainsword later, because what's the point in playing Warhammer 40k if you're not going to try to buy a chainsword?
Yep. That's one thing I will make sure to have. Because
I could try and build a chainsword.
Yeah, that's easy. But, you know, playing as, well, wanting to play as an Ecclesiarchy member, I have to have my own blessed and all that stuff, not just by the Messiah folks, but also by my folks, who said, well, we'll give this to you so you can keep killing Xenos, which is fun and good for health and business.
Huh. I'm not sure whether I should go for a high name or an archaic name, because both sound fun. I'll go archaic in the name of it sounds fun.
Okay, it's more fun. I would go for some Latin or Greek name, perhaps.
I'm going with the percentile-based name generator in the book.
Okay.
Kenok. That's very Irish. Yep, Kenok. That sounds very Irish.
Hmm.
So I'll put that under character name
I-
then. I am Kenok. And I'm gonna roll again for a nickname because nicknames are fun to have too.
Yeah.
Or you could earn one.
92. Roll again on example female names, which actually... okay. We'll see what happens. Okay. Apparently my nickname is Astra. I might ditch that, I'm not sure. Are last
Switching
names a
house?
thing in the Warhammer 40k universe? Like,
Mhm.
do they have surnames?
Yeah,
I would-
and they have like house names and such.
Yeah. And if you are a noble, well, your surname is your house name. So it's big stuff.
Okay. No idea how long that would be.
It doesn't need to be that long.
No.
Well,
I mean, for example, Imperial Knights houses, they have very long name like Hawkshroud or very short name like Terran. So if you know Imperial Knights,
Maximus
of course.
Centurion Saint Anarchy.
huh.